start today's episode, I want to plug in that we have our Euro 2020 Juventus player review on Thursday. So me and Justin are going to go through all the players that played in the tournament, and we're going to go how they fared. And it'll be a nice episode just to catch up and go through some of the disasters that we had and all the successes that we had at the same time. So that's on Thursday. Don't miss that episode. Subscribe to the channel, like the videos, and let's get started on today's show. So today's talking points, we're gonna go with Locatelli week is upon us. We'll get more into that. Aaron Ramsey is a problem. Rugani to Lazio rumors, and the preseason starts, I guess, tomorrow, the 14th of July. And then the little rumor swirling around that Chiesa was wanted by Bayern Munich. All this, and we'll be going with the live chat throughout the video, as always, and I'll answer as many questions as possible. So to start, we're going to talk about Locatelli week being upon us. This is a long delayed transfer saga that we knew was going to happen. Carnevale and Cherubini are going to meet this week to discuss the formula and the operation of how the player is going to transfer. We saw, what's his name? Gianluca Di Marzio do the interview with him after the Euro Cup or celebrating the win. And he asked Locatelli, so are you Juventino, eh? And then he had this massive smirk on his face. And you know it's happening. You know he's coming. Everyone knows he's coming. It's just what the formula is. If it's players, if it's a loan, if it's an obligation. So talks are going to start again this week. As I said yesterday, I believe he will be coming at the end of the month. He'll be announced as a player, just because Juventus always take a long time doing deals, and I see this as no different. So everyone relax. He's coming. I believe he's coming. And everyone has to relax. That's all I got to say on that. He will be a new center midfield for the team. It just depends on the formula of how we're going to pay. So we got Juventus will offer Sassuolo this week 30 million euros and a player. The options are Frabotta, Rovella, and Fagioli. And this is from the Gazzetta dello Sport. So out of those three players, obviously you want Frabotta to be with the 30 million, only because we have Pellegrini coming back and we have Sandro already at left back. So if it's Frabotta going, he'd be the third choice left back on the team already. So it makes sense to use that asset into the Locatelli deal. I think Rovella should stay with Genoa for another season, and I don't want. Locatelli is better than Rovella, and if you had to do the transfer of Rovella and money, you do it 100 times out of 100. But if you can save him and throw in Frabotta, then you let Rovella go to Genoa and develop more as a center midfielder starting in Serie A. And Fagioli, I think he's a non-starter for Allegri's sake. Again, I'm a proponent of they need to develop. I don't think Fagioli's going to play for us. So I'd rather Frabotta out of all those three players, in my opinion, at the end. Home of Vive, hi, how's it going? That's also coming from the Gazzetta dello Sport, so it's not it's a decent source, but it's not the greatest. But I think, in my opinion, it's going to be 35 million euros plus Dragozen. So a loan plus Dragozen plus 35 million obligation to buy it. That's what I think the deal is going to come down to. So again, we will get Locatelli. It just depends how and when. But he will be a Juventus player. There's too many things pointing towards that direction. So I hope he comes as soon as possible. But like I said, I think it's going to be the end of July. And I think it's going to be good for him to get himself regulated with the squad and what Allegri wants to do. So if we go, so moving on from Locatelli, I know there's going to be a lot of questions anyway after. So let's go home of Juve. We should give Fagioli a chance, like how Barca always starts Pedri. I think I think Pedri is just a miles better player than Fagioli. I know giving him a chance would be good, but at the end of the day, Pedri is a different breed compared to Fagioli. So I don't see us doing that. But again, moving on from Locatelli because we're going to be talking about it every day until he's signed. So let's move on to Aaron Ramsey and the big problem that he provides us. So it's not a good thing. Aaron Ramsey. Where do I start with Aaron Ramsey? So everyone says he is injury prone. That is true. But in the 2 years since he's been with the club, he's missed 19 games due to injury. And that's courtesy of Transfer Market. So he has missed a lot of games through injury, but he's missed a lot of games because he's just not good enough. So the news report is Aaron Ramsey problem. Juventus have not received any offers for Ramsey. His €8 million wages is too much for all interested teams. Allegri does not see him as a player he wants to build on. However, the club needs to get rid of his wage to bring in players. And that's from Tutto Sport. I think every fan knows that. Every fan doesn't want Ramsey on the club. I'm pretty sure the management also doesn't want him in the club. That's why they're trying to fish his name out to the Premier League. Aaron Ramsey, I like it. I think I said it on the show before. I expected a lot of good things from him. His wage is just an issue. He didn't settle into the club, into the country, into the league. I was expecting him to play nice little tiki-taka around the box like he did with Arsenal, with our good attacking players. Never came to fruition. No 1-2s at the edge of the area like he used to do with Arsenal. It's a shame because I actually liked the player, but then as soon as the Euro Cup started, him and his agent came out, or he came out to BBC Wales and he said all that stuff about the club, and I'm over him. It's going to be hard to get rid of him, but somehow we need to. His wages are very burdening. I don't even think like a team like Crystal Palace or Everton would even think of signing him because they would have to give a fee too because his contract ends in 2023. So it would be a fee plus his wage, and I don't see even the Premier League teams that have money. Ramsey's an aging player. He just doesn't have it anymore. He's always injured. I don't see anybody buying him. So, and to go along with the report, he's not an Allegri player. There's no chance. I don't think he'll last in an Allegri style of play. He can barely last 60 minutes, let alone all 90 at a certain pace. So I think the Ramsey experiment's over. It's got to be over. I think it's going to be a problem to sell him though. So he might ride Pine for a bit. Let's see what Alexander Yelasavic. I think the best way to include Frabota, I would like to see Fagioli and Juventus shirt. Yeah, I think Fagioli out of those three is the one we don't want to sell or to include. I think it's Frabota for me, and I guess a bunch of you guys too. Jeremy, what's up, brother? Home of Juve, can we sell Arthur and buy a War? Yeah, I'd love that. Alexander commenting on Ramsey. I believe that Ramsey is probably our worst free transfer in recent years. His salary is just enormous. Yeah. Again, we probably should have known, when I say we, management should have known that this was going to be an issue with his injury history. So giving him $8 million a year is not ideal for a guy who's going to be at J Medical for the majority of his time. We were banking on a British player to fit into an Italian style of play in a league, and usually that doesn't merit success. So at the end of the day, it was a failed experiment, and we just got to get rid of it. We got to get rid of Ramsey. I don't know how. Just bait a team in London, Crystal Palace, please. Just be stupid and sign him. Just give us €1 million as a transfer fee, and then take his wage, and then get out. But yeah, I can't say anything else about that. So we all know we want him gone. He is a big problem, and we should move on immediately. So moving on with the news, Lazio wants Daniele Rugani apparently. Lots of newspapers and sources are linking Sarri and Rugani together again. Remember that Rugani played all 38 games in Serie A with Empoli when Sarri was the coach of Empoli. I think that was maybe 5 years ago, and he was very good. He was a very good player. That's why we took Rugani back. He was a very promising player at that time. So we're going to go into the news report. Daniele Rugani has been proposed to Lazio. Maurizio Sarri knows him well from his time at Empoli and is thinking about it. Possible transfer on loan with option to buy. Okay. This is probably his contract's done in 2023, as well as Ramsey's. So Rugani has the same contract expiration date. Any money is good money to sell him. I hope we don't loan him again. We need some money. We need the wages gone. We need money at the end of the day. If we want to sign more players, we need more money. And the problem with this club has been selling in the past couple seasons because they were too free willy about their wage, about giving out huge contracts for slightly above average players. Like, they are still good players, of course, but when you don't perform, you're considered bad. But Rugani was at a time a pretty good player. Rugani, he's not gonna cut it out of our team. I can see him doing well at Sassuolo or Napoli or Lazio. He's been on so many teams. Sorry, I couldn't remember. Lazio, and they play three at the back, so it makes sense. Unless Sarri changes that to 4-3-3 that he loves. Ooh, Lazio's gonna stink next year. They're not gonna know what they're doing. Yeah, so Rugani needs to go. That's the bottom line. I just hope it's an outright sale. He's so cheap. Lazio just spent $2.5 million on Felipe Anderson today. Why can't they just give $2.5 million more for Rugani? I don't get it. Just do it. Let's get over him as well. Him and Ramsey are in the same boat for me. They're just outcasts, dead wood. They need to leave. Let's answer a couple questions. Yo, it's your Chiesa. Yeah, what's up, buddy? Congrats on making the Euro 2020 team of the season or team of the tournament. Mohammed, what's up, Mohammed? Allegri was the one who took him in January, but was sacked in July. I guess you're talking about Ramsey. I don't know. Clement, how's it going, dude? We can't sell players because the wages are high and they didn't have good performances. Yeah, exactly. They're not bad players. They're just not performing at the level they should have been playing. Again, with Bentancur, of course, that's the prime example. He doesn't make a big wage, but he's the one who has been very poor with his performances. But he should be a lot better than what he is. Oh, Justin, what's up? How's it going? How you doing out there? Thanks for filling in. Okay, no problem. Ari, how's it going? Ari11. Do we have any idea on Allegri's assistants? I don't have any information on that. Maybe maybe it might be the same guys. I don't know. He's comfortable with those guys maybe from 2-3 years ago. But yeah, we'd have to look into that. What do you think of Luca Pellegrini? He was bad with Genoa this past season. He's good. He's very good at crossing the ball, but his defensive shape and his commitment to their defense is it lacks. It's not what you think of a typical Italian player. But hopefully, if he has a strong camp and he actually takes to what Allegri has to say, he can stay and be an understudy to Alexandro and hopefully. I think he's better than Frabotta, so that's my opinion on him. I think he'd be a good deputy if he learns the proper way to defend as a team, and he can keep up with his good pinpoint crosses. Yeah, so going back to the news, it's Rugani and Ramsey need to leave, and those are the two of the pieces of deadwood that need to leave. The new season's about to start, so moving on to that. So as I said, Luca Pellegrini's coming, needs to have a strong camp. It starts tomorrow, so it starts July 14th. And only a few players will be there, obviously, because the European Cup tournament players, they're going to be missing, obviously, because they're on vacation still. They get a little of an extended break. Obviously, the Copa America players as well. I believe Weston McKennie's going to miss it all because he'll be playing. Oh, I guess he's not playing in the Gold Cup. Tomorrow's preseason starts with athletic tests for Dybala, Arthur, McKennie, and Pinsolio, while the rest of the squad will be made up of the players returning from a loan. So Pellegrini, Rugani, De Sciglio, Perin, Piazza, and all the U23 players. So I saw someone mention De Graca, and probably Felix Correa and Di Pardo and Fagioli. All those players will be at the mini camp starting tomorrow. That's coming from the Gazzetta dello Sport. So I'm gonna check after to see if McKennie's gonna go to the Gold Cup, but I thought he was. Maybe Justin can comment on that further because he's American. um, so yeah, Dybala needs to hit the ground running. He needs to have an injury-free season just to build his reputation back up. He went to Miami, he did all of his fitness testing, he did all of his workouts with a specialized trainer. He looked good from the videos he sent. He looked physically fit from what I've seen. Like more fit than he has been in the past. He needs to hit the ground running because if he actually is going to sign this 10-year or 10 million euro extension, we need him. We need him fully fit, and he needs to be a key contributor. It can't be like last year. For the other guys like Arthur, same thing. Arthur needs to have that surgery. He shouldn't even be. He should have the surgery in May, but yeah, and I hope those U23s really get a look because apparently like the U23s did well this year, but they need a look. And Allegri doesn't trust younger players, but I think there's a few good players there. Like obviously we saw Fagioli play limited minutes, but I watched a couple U23 games. I streamed them, and he looks too good for that league. He looks too good for that team. He needs to step up, and if he has a good camp, I think he'll make the team. I think they'll want to keep him. And for as it goes for Rugani, De Sciglio, and Perin and Piazza, those guys are just coming because they have to. They're contractually obligated to. We need to find them new homes. We need to make money off them. Any bidder for Piazza, any bidder for Perin, take the money and let's try and invest it somewhere else. And I'm not sure exactly when the European and Copa America players will be back, but obviously the Italians won't be back for a while, and the Span and Morata, they won't be back for a while. I think Ronaldo's due back in like mid or the end of July, tail end of July. But yeah, it's all about impressions. If you want to make the team, now is the time to put your to make a name for yourself. If you're one of those U23s, I'm excited for them. I liked Felix Correa's little cameo that I think it was against Udinese. The comeback when Ronaldo scored 2 goals. I liked his little cameo. He's dynamite. He's electric. He likes to take people on. He looked defensively capable. I don't know. It was again 8 minutes, but in the U23 games he looked pretty good. So you can only hope for the best. Like again, I'm a proponent of young players are valuable, but they it's potential. It's not the finished product. Like Chiesa, it was potential, so I wasn't like drawn right away. But then once he consistently performed and performed and performed and consistently was successful, then you're like, yeah, that's a player. Like Fagioli right now is just potential. Like we don't know. We like the idea of what he could become, but we don't actually know what he can become. And that goes with De Graca, that goes with Correa, and that goes with Dragosen even, and all the younger players that we saw little glimpses of this year, and Depardo. Even that Hamza Rafia guy, he scored a goal, and then he never played again. So like the future, the U23 setup, it was really good. It was a really good idea from the club to start that, similar to what the Barcelona B, Barcelona C, similar to what the Man City, and then all the English teams have the setup. Um, it's a really good idea because you keep stuff in-house and you have control over these younger players. So that's a good idea from them. And I'm excited to see some of the boys tomorrow. So I'm excited to see Dybala back in training. Um, I'm excited to see Arthur, what he looks like, even though I know I can't expect much. Um, I'm excited to see my boy Carlo Pinsolio, Ronaldo's best friend. I can't wait to see him just be a dingus on the field and having a good time. So we'll see. It's early days. We saw Arsenal lose today to Hibernians. I love that. But we'll move on to Chiesa and Bayern Munich. That transfer rumor, that one that held Juventus hearts in their hands. They at the end of the day, Juventus is not selling, I guess, their second best player, if you want to call him that. Their most coveted player. They're not going to sell him to Bayern Munich, especially. Like they need to keep in house. We're not desperate for money. We just can't. We don't have any money to spend, so we're not like Inter situation. So there's no reason to sell Chiesa. So the news report is Chiesa is not for sale. Bayern offered close to 80 million for Chiesa, and Juventus' answer was no. Just simple no. That's perfect. And that's from the Corriere dello Sport. It's a simple no. That's it. You don't need to get into it more. We don't need to. We're not like Inter. We don't need to sell like they sold Hakimi. We're not that much. That's why we took out the capital gain. Um, it's just a no. It's just a non-starter. He's the future of the team. He's got the Juventus spirit. He's got the grinta. He's got the skill. He's a top class player. He's a top winger in the world right now. And when was the last time a Juventus team had a top winger? Don't say Ronaldo because obviously he converted to a striker. Nedved? Is that the last time we had a top winger? Someone help me out. I might be drawing a blank here. But yeah, so the Chiesa rumors they're just non-starters. Don't even believe anything you hear about that. I'm not sweating whatsoever. So that's my opinion on that. If you're worried in the comment section, say something and we'll ease your minds for a bit. But then we're gonna go to the comment sections now to go over what everyone's saying. Today was a light news report week or news report day, so let's check in with the live chat. Okay, let's go. Clement says, I think Juventus doesn't need to buy a young player for the fourth striker because the Graka can do it. Yeah, but if there's an option and there's something we can get, why not? Like, why not get Keane if that's an option? Or like a Vlahovic. If it's worst case scenario, then yeah, the Graka can do a job. I guess it's filling in the fourth. What else we got here? Home of Juve, Mendy. We need a young striker like Keane. Oh, so you're just commenting on each other. Alexander says, I had great hopes for Rugani, and it's a shame that he didn't meet the expectations. I think we just don't need him anymore. Dragusin is probably the future of our club, and we should focus on him. I wouldn't call Dragusin the future of the club. Like De Ligt's probably a year or two older than Dragusin, so like obviously De Ligt is the future of the club, and I think Demiral is only a year older than him, than De Ligt. So I think we're good for center backs. Yeah, we could definitely just let Rugani go. Again, he's dead wood. We don't want to spend too much time on Rugani. Chiesa is the future of Juventus. 100% I agree, Clement. That's a no-brainer in my opinion. He's Italian. He's young. He's got the skill. He's got the pedigree now. He made the Euro 2020 player of the team of the tournament. And he didn't even start the first 3 games. No, first 4 games, sorry. Like, how incredible is that? I can't believe what he's become so far. It's amazing. I'm so proud of that guy. I'm so proud he's on Juventus. What else we got going? Rugani for Armini would be a steal. Juan, can you let me know who Armini is, and then I can take a look at who that is, and I'll get back to you. Federico Chiesa, yeah, he is. Mohammed says, yeah, Allegri took him in January on a free, and he was sacked in July. How can it now be said that is an Allegri player? Well, I think we've seen Ramsey play in Italy. I think Allegri thought he was getting Arsenal Ramsey, playing in the Premier League. It's a totally different league, and I don't think Ramsey has the attributes to play well in Serie A. So that's my thought on that. Can we play three at the back next season? Yeah, I would like to play three at the back with this specific team. That's not my ideal formation, but in my I coach, so I coach a 15-year-old team and a 10-year-old team. So my ideal formation is not a 3-5-2. But for this specific Juventus squad, they cut the three center backs. They could be like Bonucci, Barzagli, and Chiellini again, just a little bit older, and one minor Dutch change. The lack of confidence destroys the talent. That's what Ancelotti said when he brought James Rodriguez to Everton. We should give our chance to young players. Look at Pedri. Again, Clement, is Fagioli going to start over Locatelli and Rabiot? I don't want him to, not at this particular time. If Fagioli, let's say, starts against Salernitana and he does well, you probably give him another chance somewhere else against someone else. But you can't start off right off the bat. It's not ideal to have Fagioli starting right away. Let's just say that. If he's starting right away, we're probably not winning trophies. But if he does, like I said, if he performs well against a team like Salernitana, a team like, let's say, who's another bottom feeder, Udinese, and he performs well, then yeah, maybe we have more confidence in him. He gets more confidence, and we'll see what happens. I think next is Edgar Mula, watching from Kenya and Africa. Good work, Forza Juve. Thanks, Edgar. Hope everything's well over there. Forza Juve is right, always and every time. Juan says, to be fair, Pedri was a starter at Las Palmas. He was when Barcelona bought him, so he had some professional experience at 17 years old, second division, but still he came with experience. Yeah, he played in a professional league. So again, Pedri and Fagioli are not comparable players. Pedri is miles better. He did have that experience. But like I said, I watched the U23s. Fagioli does stand out at that level. And he did do pretty well against Spal in the Coppa Italia. So, and I think I already said my idea or my thoughts. He can't be starting right away. It has to be a gradual thing. Jeremy says, do you like the idea of Jorginho coming to Juventus? Of course, he is in the form of his life right now. But again, if we need to move money out somewhere, let's say we sell Demiral for 35 million and sell some of those other pieces of dead wood, and we somehow get 45. I'd offer that to Chelsea. Chelsea can say whatever they want right now because he still has 2 more years on his contract. Who knows? I would take Jorginho in a heartbeat, though. I think everyone would. It's funny. 2 years ago when Sarri was in charge and he wanted to bring him, nobody was really a fan, and now everyone just wants him. It's what form does. It's what winning does. Edgar says, I hope Fagioli proves himself and Allegri is convinced and keeps him. Yeah, that's what tomorrow starts tomorrow. Fagioli, it starts tomorrow. You got to impress tomorrow. You got to. It is what it is. If you don't impress, you might have to go on loan or stay with the U23s. But I think he'll do well in that group of players specifically. I think he'll be a standout player because there's not much quality going. So I hope he's convinced. I hope Allegri is convinced. But that's all up to the player. Alexander says, do you know what happened to Wesley? Oh, I kind of find him an interesting player. I believe he could have a great career. So yeah, I think his nickname is Gasolina. or he's that Brazilian kid with the braces, and he played right back or right wing back in the Coppa Italia. I think he went on loan somewhere. Let me just pull that up. Wesley Gasolina. Yeah, he's 21 years old. He went on loan in Switzerland to a club called Sion, like Sion. So he might be back. He might be coming back for, I don't know when his loan was done, but yeah, he was pretty good. But at 21, we need to start impressing, right? We need to start trying to get a spot in the 23 man roster. Um, it's not good enough just to say, oh yeah, he's okay, he's got potential. But at 21, we got to do something with potential. No, I'm not necessarily saying he's got to start every game, but he needs to make an impression and to make the team at least, make the first team at least. So Gasolina is an interesting one, like you said. Um, where am I now? Yeah, Jorginho is a very good player, but I think we have enough Mazzala in our team. I prefer Awar. That's from Clement. Awar would be a nice, cheap option. I think we've gone over this in the past. We need to sell players first, and we've gone over that as well. We do need a creative player. We need a creative midfielder. That's we that's that's probably priority one after Locatelli comes. We need someone to break lines. We need someone to link up play with the forwards and the holding midfielders. We need someone. We need a midfielder to start scoring goals. Besides McKennie, McKennie is not that attacking midfielder kind of player, even though he's put there this year. Ramsey's definitely not. We know that now. He just wasn't good enough. Um, so yeah, like a war at that price, me and Justin have both said it. 100%. We need to jump on that. Do we have a friendly game against Barcelona? That's home of Juve. Yes, we do. It was confirmed by a source. I forget who exactly. I think it was that an Italian journalist. He said we're playing in the Joan Camper Trophy against them. I think that's in August. I'm not. I don't know the exact date, but I think it's in August. Justin McKennie's not on the Gold Cup roster. Good, perfect. I like that. Oh, it's just MLS players. Right on. So McKennie will be, like the report said, he will be with the team tomorrow, and I think that's a very good decision from him. Let's keep scrolling down because McKennie is a very good squad player. I think he can fill in anywhere. I've seen him fill in anywhere with Schalke. He played center back, he played left back, he played forward. He played obviously in midfield. That dude is just the ultimate Swiss Army knife. I love the player. Not the most technical, but he just gives us all. And you need a pit bull, and you needed that kind of player in your team. Edgar says we should keep Dybala and sell CR7 to have team spirit like the Italian national team. We can get Icardi from PSG and keep Wanda Nara away. I don't think those two things are. Those two things don't happen. Getting Icardi and keeping Wanda Nara away. She's a lunatic, and I don't know how you keep her away. I don't think you can. But I think we went over like the plus valenza we would get from selling Ronaldo this Mercato. It would be very helpful for Juventus. It would help us buy and supplement the squad in other areas. Dybala loves the team, loves the idea of the team. He bought into the history of the team. He bought into the whole what black and white means. He bought into the family culture. He just loves the squad and he loves the team so much that it's a building block you need to. you need to keep around. Again, the money is a bit of an issue because he is injury prone. Not at the same extent as Ramsey, obviously, but he is injury prone to Dybala, and tactically sometimes he doesn't fit in every game. So if we're paying 10 million euros to someone, he should be on the team, like one of the first names in the team sheet. But again, He's an undeniable talent. Continuing with the live chat for another 10 minutes or so. Homo Vive says, Fagioli, Locatelli, Rovella are future midfield. In a perfect world where everyone Italian loves it, sure. Why not? If they play to a top world class potential that we need to be on with the top clubs, yeah, let's let it run. But I don't see all those three being in a midfield because two of them play very similar, Fagioli and Rovella. Oh, actually, they all play this very similar. Rovella has a bit of Fagioli and Locatelli in him, where Rovella is more of a box-to-box. Fagioli is more of a regista, and Locatelli is more of a holding midfielder that can make very good progressive passes. But if you're playing with three in midfield and you do not have an advanced midfielder and a creative one, then it's going to be a very defensive-minded team. And you're going to be asking one of those three to play in a position where they won't necessarily be as successful as they would if they played in a deeper role. For example, like Bentancur, he's not a bad player. He just was not meant to be a regista. He's meant to be a box-to-box midfielder. And I've said this before, and I hope he gets the opportunity again to play there next season or this upcoming season. Moving on. 3-week break in contract from Samuel Bove. Not sure what that means. Maybe you mean something like a player has a 3-week break starting now. I'm not sure what you mean, sorry. Justin, oh yeah, you answered him, so good. August 8th. Yeah, that makes sense for the game against Barcelona. Juan says, if Rovella, Frabotta, and Fagioli leave, even on loan, I hope we see some Ranocchia or hopefully Miretti. He looks like the real deal. Are you talking about Ranocchia from Inter? I hope not. Anyway, we'll let Juan explain himself there. And hey, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the videos. We really want to grow the Bianconerizon community, and we want to really make a big community out of the Juventus fans all around the world. It's a good community. Everyone likes everyone. Justin says, is Arthur going to be playing in a wheelchair? Maybe. I am so fed up with Arthur and Ramsey that I wish he just had the surgery in May. That's the bottom line in my opinion. Clement says, if we do not sell players, I think it will be difficult to see our young players next season. I 100% agree with you. Or counterpoint, Ramsey just rides Pine and we play like a guy like Fagioli. Right? And then I'll maybe force Ramsey's hand and he'll be like, screw this, I need to leave for anything. So we can play that card. And at the end of the day, yes, we'll have some stick from signing free agents in the future due to what Ramsey's gone through. But if you can't perform at this level, then what's the point? Let's see. Oh, we got a lot of comments here. Okay. I'm going to skip a couple. Sorry about that. The fix is always in. I read a few Bayern fans thinking we are desperate for money and still need 400 million now to survive. They're dreaming of Chiesa. Yeah, that is really funny. We're not starving for money. Again, we just don't have money to spend. We gave ourselves a capital gain from the company Exor, and we're fine in that regard. But we just don't have the money to spend unless we sell players. So don't listen to the rumors. We're not going to sell Chiesa unless he wants to leave, of course. But I don't see him doing that. So I think we'll be fine. Edgar says, definitely Nedved, but Nedved was a more technical player than Chiesa. Oh, you're talking about, yeah, that was a long time ago. We're talking about the wingers, but yeah. Nedved was a Ballon d'Or winner, right? So it's a different level. Pirlo, Nedved, and Del Piero, my top 3 favorite legends. Nedved for me, definitely. I would put Buffon there as well. Pirlo played for all three teams, so he's obviously a great player. But I'm gonna go Nedved, Buffon, and man, I love Chiellini. I'll go Chiellini. Okay, let's scroll down. Alexander. I don't expect big signings this season. I think that our biggest signing will be the old Dybala back. Man, if we get 2017 Dybala, that would be our best signing of the summer if we get him back. But I don't see it. He's put some miles on the legs. He's not as fresh as what he was in 2017. I hope he's recouped enough though to regain some of his form. Even 2020, the year he won MVP, like 2017 was way better in my opinion. He just linked so well with Higuain. A lot of 2020 stuff was him individually just dribbling through people, but the way he conducted the team in 2017, it was a team. It was the team that was successful when he was doing that. They made the Champions League final. They played way better, more attractive football. And he was the link to that. He was the creative link underneath Higuain, and he linked the midfield to attack because that was a poor midfield as well, with Pjanic and I think Lemina or like who was in 2017, Khedira. So if Dybala can do that with those two, imagine what he can do with Locatelli and maybe Rabiot, right? So if we get 2017 Dybala back, I'd be thrilled. Let's go a couple more. We got 3 more minutes. Oh, Ranocchia oh, yes, that Ranocchia. Okay, yes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure about the Nicolo Armini, but Juan and the Fix is always in says Ranocchia is the U23 player. Apparently he outshone Fagioli. In my opinion, I don't think that, because when I watched the games, Fagioli really stood out. But if he's getting that much praise, why not Ranocchia? Why not see what he's got? And for Nicolo Armini from Lazio, I haven't watched him play, but I have heard those. I have actually, looking back on it, heard sources say that he's been pretty good. Yule Sport. Is that actually the kit sponsor? When is the Amazon documentary coming out? I would say probably sometime in the end part of the next year, like this year, so like September onwards. There's probably a lot of production that needs to go into it. Probably stuff that they need to go over with Agnelli. I don't know if they're going to include the Super League talk or not. But before we end, I'm going to answer 2 more questions. And before we end, guys, again, make sure you subscribe and like. Today was a bit of a shorter episode because of the news. But tomorrow we will be doing a longer show probably. And on Thursday, do not forget, Justin and I will be back together, and we will be talking about Euro 2020's Juventus players and their player ratings. And there's going to be some back and forth towards that because we have different opinions, of course. And don't forget, on Mondays, we have the Transfer Meter show. Okay, so 2 more questions. I'll go home of Juve, and I'll go Juan's last comment. Okay, so home of Juve says, do you think we can win the Scudetto with Locatelli? I think having Allegri and Locatelli as the only 2 major incomings will, I don't want to say win the league, but we'll be much better than last season. That's for sure. I have no doubt about that. We'll be much better than last season. Winning the league is always tough. Teams are looking to get better. But I can almost guarantee you we'll be better than last season. And finally, we have Juan's last comment. By the way, I don't agree Fagioli is a regista. Pirlo played him as a regista, but he's even better as a number 10 and a winger when he was younger. Has a lot of goals to his game too. He'll shine as a Mazzala. If that's the case, great. We need that. Again, this is going from what I watched and what I obviously we watched with the club team or the first team, he played in a deeper role, like you said, as a regista. And for the U23s, he played all over wherever he was needed. I thought he controlled the game better, of course, as a regista, because when you're a regista, you come and collect the ball and you dictate the play. And if you're playing as the attacking midfielder or as a Mazzala, you don't have that opportunity as much. Like if your regista doesn't get you the ball, then there's a problem, right? So I thought he stood out more as the regista, and that's all. And everyone has their opinions, right, Juan? So there you go. We're gonna wrap up today's episode with that. Again, like, subscribe, and continue watching. We're gonna be live tomorrow again at 4:45 Eastern time, Eastern Standard Time. I don't know whatever time that is for you guys, but again, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.